From homeless to billionaire, the shocking story of Do Won Chang, Forever 21. Chapter 1. A Dream in the Dark. He arrived in America with $11,000 in a dream, but ended up sleeping on the streets. In 1981, Do Won Chang, a 27-year-old from South Korea, landed in Los Angeles with his wife, Jin Suk, hoping for a better life. They had big plans to open a coffee shop, using Do Won's experience from Seoul's coffee stalls. But reality hit hard. With no English and no connections, their savings vanished fast on rent and food. Soon, they were homeless, sleeping in a cramped car with Do Won's parents, wondering if they'd made a terrible mistake. Do Won refused to give up. During the day, he walked the streets, looking for any job to keep them afloat. He washed dishes, cleaned offices, and pumped gas, working 19-hour days. Jin Suk took on hairdressing gigs, her hands steady despite their struggles. At night, they prayed together, their faith keeping them strong. Do Won noticed something while pumping gas. The people driving fancy cars were all in the clothing business. This spark of an idea would change everything, but first, they had to survive the cold nights and empty stomachs. Chapter 2. The First Step. He worked 3 jobs, but one observation changed his life forever. Do Won's days were a blur of sweat and exhaustion. By day, he pumped gas. By evening, he scrubbed floors as a janitor. At night, he served coffee in a diner. Each job paid little, but he saved every penny, dreaming of something bigger. One day, a sleek Mercedes pulled into the gas station, driven by a Korean immigrant who owned a clothing store. "Clothes make money," the man said, and Do Won's mind raced. He shared the idea with Jin Suk, who had a knack for spotting trends from her hairdressing days. They decided to take a risk. With their $11,000 in savings, they found a tiny 900-square-foot shop in Highland Park, Los Angeles. They called it Fashion 21, aiming to sell trendy clothes to Korean-American teens. The first day, they made $35. By the end of the year, sales hit $700,000. Do Won's hard work and Jin Suk's eye for fashion were paying off, but they were just getting started. Chapter 3. A New Name, a New Vision. They renamed their store, and it became a sensation. Fashion 21 was a hit, but Do Won wanted more than a local shop. He saw teens flocking to their store, loving the cheap, stylish clothes. In 1987, he and Jin Suk rebranded to Forever 21, a name that screamed youth and energy. They wanted everyone, not just Korean Americans, to feel forever young in their clothes. The new name clicked, and customers poured in. The couple worked non-stop, with Jin Suk picking trendy designs and Do Won learning the business side, ordering, marketing, everything. They opened a new store every 6 months, each one bigger and bolder. Their secret? Fast fashion, copying runway looks and selling them cheap, fast. By 1989, they had 11 stores across California. Do Won's dream was growing, but so were the risks. Could they keep up this pace without breaking? Chapter 4. Family First. Their daughters joined the dream, but family came with challenges. Do Won and Jin Suk's daughters, Linda and Esther, grew up watching their parents hustle. By the 1990s, Forever 21 was a family affair. Linda, with her sharp mind, took on marketing, while Esther, the creative one, handled store displays. Do Won insisted they learn the value of hard work, just as he had. Family is everything, he'd say, but running a business with family wasn't always easy. Tensions flared when Linda pushed for bolder ads, while Do Won wanted to stick to what worked. Esther's flashy displays sometimes clashed with Jin Suk's practical designs. Still, their faith held them together. Every morning, they prayed as a family, and John 3 verse 16 was printed on every Forever 21 bag, a nod to their beliefs. The stores kept growing, hitting 100 by 1995, but the family had to learn to balance love and business. Chapter 5. The Fast Fashion Boom. They cracked the code to fast fashion, but at what cost? Forever 21 became a mall favorite, with teens rushing for the latest trends at low prices. Do Won's strategy was simple: get clothes from runway to shelf in days, not months. Jin Suk's talent for spotting trends gave them an edge. By 2000, they had 200 stores and sales topped $1 billion. The Changs were living the American dream, moving into a Beverly Hills mansion. But success brought scrutiny. Designers accused Forever 21 of copying their work. Lawsuits piled up, though most settled out of court. Do Won shrugged it off, saying, "We're giving teens what they want." Still, the pressure was on. Competitors like H&M were catching up, and the Changs had to move faster, work harder. The question loomed, could they keep ruling fast fashion without losing their soul? Chapter 6. Going Global. They took Forever 21 worldwide, but the world fought back. By 2005, Forever 21 was in 15 countries, from Japan to Dubai. Do Won's vision was bold, make Forever 21 a global name. He opened massive stores in high-traffic malls, each packed with trendy clothes. Sales soared to $2.3 billion, and the Chang's net worth hit $3 billion. Do Won felt unstoppable, but global expansion wasn't easy. Big stores meant big costs. Some locations, like in Asia, didn't connect with local tastes. Supply chains struggled to keep up, and inventory piled up unsold. Do Won pushed forward, opening 200 more stores by 2010. But cracks were showing. Employees whispered about his stubbornness, and Jin Suk worried about the debt piling up. The Changs were on top of the world, but storm clouds were gathering. Chapter 7. The Peak of Power. They hit $4.4 billion, but pride came before the fall. In 2015, Forever 21 was at its peak, with 600 stores in 40 countries and $4.4 billion in sales. The Changs were worth $6 billion, ranking among Forbes' richest. Do Won walked into his flagship store in Times Square, feeling like he conquered the world. Teens lined up for the latest jeans, and the Chang's daughters ran key parts of the business. But success blinded them. Do Won ignored warnings about overexpansion. He opened megastores, some over 35,000 square feet, that were too big to stock efficiently. Jin Suk noticed sales dipping in some regions, but Do Won insisted, "We'll grow our way out." Their family-run company had no outside advisors to challenge them. The Changs were flying high, but they didn't see the crash coming. Chapter 8. The First Cracks. Sales dropped, and the empire started to shake. By 2016, Forever 21 sales fell 10% to $4 billion. Online retailers like Amazon were stealing customers, offering cheaper clothes with faster delivery. Do Won was slow to adapt, believing malls would always win. He cut costs, reducing some full-time workers' hours to avoid health insurance costs, sparking backlash. The media called Forever 21 heartless. Jin Suk pushed for an online store, but Do Won hesitated, trusting his old-school strategy. Their daughters tried to modernize the brand, but disagreements grew. Linda wanted flashy social media campaigns. Do Won wanted traditional ads. The family was stretched thin, and so was their cash. They borrowed $10 million from their daughter's trust to keep stores open, a desperate move that showed how bad things were getting. Chapter 9. The Fall. They lost billions, and the dream turned into a nightmare. In 2017, sales dropped another 15% to $3.4 billion. The Chang's net worth fell from $6 billion to $1.6 billion. Do Won couldn't believe it. His empire was crumbling. Malls were emptying as online shopping took over. Forever 21's massive stores sat half empty, bleeding money. The family met late at night, praying for a miracle. Do Won finally agreed to an online push, but it was too late. Competitors like Zara and H&M had slick websites, while Forever 21's was clunky. Lawsuits over copied designs kept coming, hurting their reputation. Jin Suk blamed herself for not acting sooner, while Do Won felt the weight of his choices. They had to make tough calls, close stores or lose everything. Chapter 10. Bankruptcy hits. They filed for bankruptcy, but refused to give up. In September 2019, Forever 21 filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, announcing plans to close 350 stores worldwide, including all Japan locations. The news shocked the fashion world. Do Won, once a billionaire, faced headlines calling him a failure. He and Jin Suk worked tirelessly to restructure, promising customers a leaner, stronger Forever 21. The family leaned on their faith, praying daily for guidance. Linda and Esther took bigger roles, cutting costs and revamping the online store. Do Won admitted his mistakes, saying, "We grew too fast." The bankruptcy was a humbling blow, but the Chang saw it as a chance to rebuild. They still owned the company 100%, and they weren't ready to let go. Chapter 11. Selling the Dream. They sold Forever 21 for $81 million, a fraction of its worth. In 2020, the Changs made a painful choice: sell Forever 21 to mall giant Simon Property Group, Brookfield, and Authentic Brands for $81 million. The company they built from nothing was no longer theirs. Do Won felt like he'd lost a child, but the deal saved jobs and kept some stores open. The Changs' net worth was now $1.6 billion, a far cry from their peak. Jin Suk focused on their daughters, ensuring they learn from the fall. It's a marathon, not a sprint, Do Won told them, echoing his old advice. The sale was a fresh start, but it stung. The family vowed to stay in business, exploring new ventures like their daughter's makeup brand, Riley Rose. The American dream had slipped, but they weren't done dreaming. Chapter 12. Lessons learned. Failure taught them what success couldn't. The bankruptcy forced Do Won to reflect. He realized his stubbornness and rapid expansion had cost them. "I didn't listen enough," he admitted. Jin Suk agreed, wishing they'd embraced online sales sooner. Together, they studied their mistakes, determined to grow wiser. Their faith kept them grounded, with daily prayers guiding their next steps. Linda and Esther took the lead on Riley Rose, a cosmetics line sold in Forever 21 stores. It was a smaller venture, but it showed promise. Do Won mentored them, sharing lessons from his gas station days to his billionaire peak. The family learned to adapt, focusing on sustainability over speed. The Changs were no longer billionaires, but they were fighters ready for comeback. Chapter 13. A New Beginning. They started over, with faith and family as their guide. By 2021, the Changs were back in the game, advising on Riley Rose and exploring new fashion ideas. Do Won, now in his late 60s, felt a spark again. He and Jin Suk worked with their daughters to build a brand that mixed fast fashion with online savvy. They kept stores small, learned from competitors, and listened to customers. The family's bond grew stronger through the hardship. Do Won donated to churches through the Forever 21 Foundation, giving back to a community that shaped him. He flew economy class, stayed frugal, and taught his daughters to do the same. The Changs weren't chasing billions anymore. They wanted a legacy of resilience and faith. Chapter 14. Inspiring the World. Their story became a beacon for dreamers. The Chang journey from homeless immigrants to retail giants inspired millions. Do Won shared their story at churches and business events, saying, "Hard work and faith can move mountains." Teens who shopped at Forever 21 saw hope in his tale, proof that anyone could rise from nothing. The family's yellow bags, with John 3 verse 16, spread their message worldwide. Linda and Esther became role models, too, showing young women how to lead with grit. The Chang story wasn't just about money, it was about never giving up. Entrepreneurs studied their rise and fall, learning to balance growth and caution. Do Won smiled, knowing his struggle could light the way for others chasing the American dream. Chapter 15. Forever 21's Legacy. Their empire fell, but their spirit soared. Today, Forever 21 still operates, smaller but steady, under new ownership. The Changs watch from the sidelines, proud of what they built. Do Won, now a mentor to his daughters and others, says, "Success isn't money, it's family and faith." Their net worth may be $1.6 billion, but their real wealth is their story, a tale of grit, love, and redemption. The Chang's legacy lives in every teen who feels confident in affordable clothes, every immigrant who dreams big, and every family that sticks together. Do Won and Jin Suk still pray every morning, grateful for their journey. From a car in Los Angeles to a global brand, their story proves one thing: with hard work and heart, anything is possible. This story is brought to you by Harmony Publishing, who is one of the top self-publishing companies out there. They make publishing easy, professional, and affordable. Just check the description for more information about them.